Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fam 2 Cents cooking video, and today we're gonna make some spaghetti. Now the plan was to make spaghetti and meatballs, but at some point throughout this process I completely forgot that that's what I was supposed to be making. So I ended up just making regular spaghetti. As you can see, I just tossed the meat right into the foodie and didn't even think twice about it, when actually I was supposed to be making meatballs. But that's fine, because I actually want to save making the actual spaghetti and meatballs for when I make my sauce from scratch. I sent my wife to the store to get the stuff that I needed for spaghetti and meatballs, and she bought pre-made sauce, which is, you know, it's not a horrible thing. You can still use it. There's no food snobs here. You don't have to make your own sauce, but I kind of wanted to, but I didn't relay that to her when I sent her to the store. So here we are. So we're just making regular spaghetti this time, all gonna be done in the foodie with the exception of the noodles. The noodles will be cooked separately on the stove, because you just can't very well do that in the foodie at the same time. There's a lot going on in this thing in regards to the meat sauce, so you're just not gonna be able to do the noodles in here too unless you know, separate it, and just it's a hassle. So don't even bother with that. I know everybody likes the all-in-one recipes, everything in one pot, but not this time, guys. So I got a combination of spicy Italian sausage and beef, because that's how I make my meatballs, and I'm just like, well, what the heck, even though I should have been making meatballs and I'm not, I could still use this combination to make regular spaghetti. So as you can see, I am taking the sausage out of its casing and tossing it right in there with the beef, and I'm gonna let that cook down until it's done, and then we'll remove that from the pan and put that into a separate bowl, and then we'll start to saute our veggies. We have mushrooms, onions, and garlic here to enhance the flavor of the already pre-made sauce, and also to add a little bit to it, because you know, the sauce doesn't, like, there are vegetables in it but they're not really prominent, so I like to add my own extra to it, just to spice things up just a little bit. As you can see here, I am removing the meat from the foodie and prepping to saute the vegetables. You want to separate it from all that oil and grease down there, because I don't really use that in this recipe. I know some people might find a use for it, or just keep it in there or whatever, but I need to saute my vegetables, and I don't really want to do it in that, to be honest. So go ahead and take that out, take the juices and pour that out, because I'm not going to use that. And then we'll hit the pan with a little bit of olive oil so we can saute our vegetables. Now that I'm thinking about it, keeping those juices just for if you were making your own sauce might be a good idea for some. But then again, that's the beauty of cooking. If you want to use it for that, if you want to find a use for it, you can. If not, don't bother. Completely up to you. Cooking is what you want it to be, essentially. Obviously, there are correct ways to do certain things, but at the end of the day, if it tastes good to you, you did it right. So whatever you decide to do with that, that's fine. I got rid of it, and I'm going to pour some olive oil and some butter into the bottom of the foodie to get ready to saute my vegetables. We're going to do the garlic. That goes in first, and then the onions, and then the mushrooms, and you want to saute those until the onions become kind of transparent, and the mushrooms have soaked up a lot of that butter and stuff, because the mushrooms are really absorbent, so they'll soak up most of that. You want to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and make sure they're cooked to your liking, and then go ahead and add your sauce to the mixture. Now, this would normally be the part where you would add, like, your diced tomatoes and any other stuff that you would add, like maybe tomato paste and stuff, in order to make your own sauce. But like I said, we don't have that stuff right now, so we're doing it this way. So once you get it all combined, you want to let it simmer and just kind of do its thing for a little bit, and then add the meat to the mixture and allow that to cook for a bit, just to make sure that everything is done. And essentially your meat sauce is done. You can keep it on low, like on a really low simmer, while you get your noodles and stuff going, just to make sure that everything is all the flavors in there are getting to know each other real well. and you're pretty much ready to serve at that point. I seem to have neglected to record myself actually making the spaghetti noodles, but I mean, that's about as straightforward as it can get. You just put some water in a pot and bring it up to boil. Make sure you salt the water first, and you drop your noodles in there, and in order to tell when they're done, after they've been boiling for about 5 to 10 minutes, you want to take one of the noodles out and just taste it and see if it's the desired texture you want it to be, or firmness, I guess. If you like it al dente, then you can take it out when it gets to that point. If you don't like it like that, you cook it a little further. I figured that was pretty straightforward, but when I do my actual spaghetti and meatball video, I'll go into more depth, so maybe anybody who's really interested, who didn't know or doesn't know how to make boiled spaghetti, then you'll have a visual cue there. But now you're basically ready to plate, which brings me to a question. Now, there have been a lot of I've had a lot of spaghetti in my life, and it's been cooked by many people, either in restaurants, at home, at other people's houses and stuff. And there was one thing I always wondered, because there always used to be a difference depending on where you get your spaghetti or who makes it. On rather, they put their noodles directly into the meat sauce and just stir it all together, so it's all combined, and then you plate it. Or if you plate the noodles first and then pour the sauce, the meat sauce or whatever, on top of it. Now, me personally, I did this. I cooked the meat sauce and then I poured it over top because it looks nice. When you take a picture, it just, it looks like a classic Italian, spaghetti. And that's the reason why I did it. But I really hate eating spaghetti like this, because my noodle to sauce ratio has to be it has to be combined to me, because it's all, I don't know, it tastes different to me, because you get a lot of noodles that have no sauce on it. You spend a lot of time trying to mix it up and all that good stuff. So they do have sauce on it, and it's just annoying to eat it like that for me. It actually is irritating. But I did it this way for the sake of the picture. But I always wonder, do you guys put your noodles directly into the sauce and just kind of mix it up like that once they're done? Or do you, do it the way that I just explained? I've always been curious about that. I know everybody does things differently. There are no right or wrong answers, although I'm sure there will be people who say in chat that there are definitely right or wrong answers, and if you do it anyway that's not the way that they do it, then you're wrong. But let those people fight amongst themselves. Their life is too short to be fighting over how people eat their food. It is the stupidest thing I think I've ever had to deal with. So let's not get into an argument about it, because, oh god, is that a waste of my time. But I am curious to know how you guys do it, because I prefer one way or the other. I don't think the other way is incorrect. I just don't like it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that share button if you would like to share this with others, which you definitely should. And subscribe if you haven't done so. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one.